Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and Chodesh Tov. Today is Rosh Chodesh, as well as Shabbat Korach. I certainly hope that you keep up with every episode of As the Torah Turns, because it is a lot more accessible to understand my Devar Torah every week if you are somewhat familiar with the Torah portion. So this week's Torah portion, Korach, we witness a rebellion in which Korach and his gang confront Moshe about Moshe's leadership. And Korach actually says something which is quite reasonable. Would not all your people be holy? In other words, you're not the only one who's holy here. You're not the only one who can do this. Well, you might know what happens. God gets very, very angry, and the earth swallows up Korach and his gang. Now, it may or may not be that they lived. There are many really amazing midrashim about what happens to them. One of them being that Bnei Korach, the sons of Korach, enter into some kind of a chamber in which they're protected, and they spend the rest of their lives praising God, singing songs, and admitting that they were wrong. Moshe was right, and we are liars, is what they say. Other commentaries take us in a much different direction, and that's where we are going this week. And I begin with this question. Have you, as your soul, been here before? In other words, do you sense that this is just one of the many Gilgulim, men of the many turning overs of your souls into different lifetimes, that you are in this lifetime to do a specific tikkun, a rectification of your soul? Well, good question, isn't it? Crosby, Stills, and Nash, they have an answer. We have all been here before. I don't know about you, but I have had insight into that truth. So let's take a look at Korach's lineage. Where has he been? Well, let's start out, first of all, by dedicating this Devar Torah from a rabbi who works for Hadar, Rabbi David Kasher, from whose teaching I am borrowing much of what to share with you, and of course expanding upon it. Here is the family tree of Korach. Vayikach Korach ben Yitzhar ben Kecha ben Levi. So this week's Torah portion, like most Torah portions, start off with, in that first line, the name of the parsha, Vayikach Korach, and Korach took. So there are lots of commentaries about what he took and what he may have taken for himself. And basically, what we're going to concentrate on is what he took for himself above and over everybody else, what his true intention was, which was not so populist after all. Okay, here we go. So, oh, wait a second. That's not what I wanted to go to. Did that not work? Oh, it didn't. I set up. Oh, no, it's on this one. Okay, Korach said, my father and brothers were four brothers. So his father had four sons, the sons of Kahat. Okay, so here we go. This is the cool stuff. So created some arrows here. So Kahat is Korach's father. And you'll see right now, here are the four sons. You have Amram, the eldest, who's the father of, who else? Aharon, Miriam, and Moshe. Then you have Yitzchar, who is the father of Korach and Nepheg and Zichri, and then Yechevron. Oh, you're not seeing anything. Thank you, Jay. Oh, I'm glad somebody finally picked up the pillow and told me. Thank you, Jay. So, you know what? This is so good. I'm going to go back. Here we go. All right, we have Kahat. Kahat is the father of Amram, Yitzhar, Chevron, and Uziel. As you can see here, Amram is the father of Aharon and Miriam and Moshe. Now, Moshe is the leader, not the eldest. And it's oftentimes, isn't the eldest supposed to be getting all of the good stuff? Well, and there's the blue arrow. Korach is the son of Yitzhar. And this is what he says in the Torah portion, that my father and his brothers, 4 brothers, the sons of Kahat, Amram, Yitzhar, Hevron, and Uziel. Now, Amram, as you see, he was the firstborn. And so his son, Aharon, merited greatness, which he was, because he was the high priest, and Moshe became the leader. So it stands to reason, who then was supposed to take the next position? Is it not the second son, as it says, the sons of Kahat, Amram and Yitzhar? I am the son of Yitzhar, Korach says, so I deserve to become chief of my family. This is where his complaint begins, in his lineage. Okay, thank you, Jay. The Kabbalists of 16th century Tzfat traced Korach's lineage much further than to the tribe of Levi. Much further than just these 3 generations. Now, Rabbi Chaim Vital, who was the chief student of the Arizal, Isaac Luria, and his work on reincarnation posits that the conflict between Korach and Moshe is one that has ancient roots. Follow this from the book The Gates of Reincarnation. V'da, ki Korach ben Yitzhar. Know that Korach, the son of Yitzhar, comes from the ruach shel Kayyin, from the spirit of Kayyin. Who is Kayyin? Cain. Remember back in Reshit, in Genesis, Cain and Abel? And therefore, he wanted to kill his brother Havel. So who's Havel? Who's Abel? Moshe. So, Korach's soul is the soul of Cain. Moshe's soul is the soul of Havel, is of Abel. And Korach thought that he could reestablish Kayyin as the firstborn. Of course, was not Kayyin the firstborn over Abel? But he got the short end of the stick, to say the least. And that is why Korach rises up against Moshe. Are you following along? There's a parallelism that's going on here that the mystics are drawing from, sensing that we have all been here before, including our ancestors. So on the upper left, Cain and Havel, Cain and Abel. And on the right, Korach, pointing to Moshe. Why should you be the leader? The souls of Korach and Moshe have transmigrated from the souls of Cain and Havel, the first brothers in history. And just as Cain was jealous of his brother Havel, so Korach was jealous of his cousin Moshe. Now, there's also a linguistic connection here. Remember, I'm drawing upon this wonderful teaching of David Kasher. The linguistic connection we find in this verb liftsot, patsa, which basically means to open up. But in modern Hebrew, and also in biblical Hebrew, liftoach is to open. This verb is used 2 times in the connection that the mystics are making between Cain and Abel, Korach and Moshe. In the Cain story, V'ata arurata min ha'adama asher patzta et piha. Therefore, you shall be more cursed than the ground, which opened its mouth. Oh, you getting the connection between this week's Torah portion? And more so, the ground opened its mouth. We're getting, and there, swallow up Korach, which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. This is divinity speaking to Cain. And then in Moshe's retelling of the story, now this is important because this is not in this week's Torah portion. In this week's Torah portion, we understand that the earth swallowed up Korach and his band. Well, we're not quite sure about that, but let's go with it. But it's not later, till the book of Devarim in Deuteronomy, that it uses this word again, patzta. Patzta ha'aretz et piha, v'tivl'em et betehem v'et aholehem. So in Moshe's retelling of the story of the Korach, he says, and what God did to Datan and Aviram, the sons of Eliab, sons of Reuben, when the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them along with their households and their tents. Notice what is missing. What is missing here is Korach. Basically, Moshe has written Korach out of the story. That indeed is Korach's inheritance. We're supposed to, in a way, remember to wipe out the memory of Korach as we are of Amalek. Moshe wrote Korach out of the story, and Korach is erased from memory. Patzta, used 2 times in the Chumash. The linguistic echoes, but particular emphasis on the role of the ground. These are David Kasher's words. This helps to explain why the specific punishment was used to punish Korach. The same ground which opened its mouth to receive Abel's blood is now reopening its mouth to swallow Korach. And it's a leap, I know, if we accept Reb Chaim Vital's claim that Korach and Moshe carry the actual souls of Cain and Abel, then the swallowing of Korach can be seen as Abel's final revenge. What do you think, Mark? Pretty cool, huh? So it seems that the family rivalry in Parshat Korach is replaying the oldest family rivalry of them all. You know that often I referred to the movie Avalon. They cut the toiki without me. And from there, the family dynamics get ruptured. And this one doesn't talk to that one for a long, long time to come. And so, here too, in this week's Parsha, we have a rupture. Literally, a rupture in that the earth opens up and swallows those who have brought before God an argument that is not for the sake of heaven. We have ruptures too. We've all had ruptures with family and friends, ruptures that literally and figuratively swallowed us up. So may our Shabbos blessing be that we bring healing to those relationships that need healing, whether or not we sense that the rupture is deja vu all over again. Whether or not we sense, as Yogi Berra teaches, that it's deja vu all over again. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.